From partnering with the Cowboys on a new facility to creating a billion-dollar fast food chain and owning a football team, these are the richest players in NFL history. John Elway, $150 million. After finishing his 16-year career as the Denver Broncos quarterback, Elway earned a total of $45 million. Not even close to what quarterbacks make today. If we break down the first 10 years of his career, the Broncos quarterback made less than $2 million per season. In today's league, that's less than half of the backup quarterback salary, but off the field is where Elway made his money. From endorsements with companies like Chevrolet and Nestle to building a colossal car dealership enterprise that spread across the entire city of Denver. This endeavor netted $82 million when he sold the company to AutoNation in 2006. Shortly after, he opened 2 restaurants in Denver named Elway's before getting involved with his beloved Broncos in 2011 as the general manager and president of football operations. However, he could have possibly been a billionaire. In the late 90s, Elway was offered the opportunity to buy a 10% share in the Denver Broncos franchise for $15 million, with a further 10% if he gave up $21 million in salary bonuses that he was due as the team's quarterback. In other words, John Elway could have owned 20% of the Denver Broncos for $36 million. After the recent sale of the franchise to the owner of Walmart, Rob Walton, that 20% stake would be worth well over $1 billion. Ouch. Eli Manning, $160 million. The little brother to Peyton Manning, who we will get to later in this video, did well for himself. Throughout his 16-year career with the New York Giants, Eli netted $252 million from his contracts alone. He's also worked with brands Hublot, Nike, Toyota, and Visa, earning upwards of $100 million from each of these endorsements. Since retiring after the 2019 season, Eli Manning has signed with a private equity firm named Brand Velocity Partners, a company specializing in consumer goods. He'll work with the brand on future business ventures and deals in the private equity sector. He's also had a lot of success on television, working with his brother Peyton on a show called Manningcast for ESPN. The show initially signed a deal for 30 games, featuring the pair for 3 years. It has since been extended due to viral ratings and is thought to be worth about $15 million annually. As of today, Eli Manning is worth well over $160 million, and I'm sure that number will only grow from here. Russell Wilson, $160 million. Next up is the first active NFL player, as Wilson is now the quarterback of the Denver Broncos. In just 9 years in the NFL, Russell Wilson has already amassed well over $180 million after signing a new contract with the Seattle Seahawks in 2019 that made him the highest paid player in NFL history. Off the field though, Russell Wilson is undoubtedly the hardest working NFL player when it comes to endorsements. He works with the likes of Mercedes-Benz, Amazon, Boss, Nike, Pepsi, and Wilson Sporting Goods, just to name a few. And when he's not practicing on his game or endorsing one of those companies, he's building his own business called West to East Empire, a Seattle-based production company specializing in strategic storytelling. But that's not all for Russell Wilson. In 2014, he funded a non-profit called the Why Not You Foundation, which is dedicated to supporting the youth, fighting poverty, and providing education. He's been seen numerous times giving back in the Seattle area during his time with the Seahawks, and I'm sure while he's in Denver, it will be no different. Steve Young, $200 million. Besides being Niner royalty and having his famous number 8 jersey retired by the franchise, Steve Young has also had about the same amount of success off the field. In 1994, Young received a Juris Doctorate from BYU and had a successful business career following his playing days. He co-founded a private equity firm in 2007 based in Palo Alto, California, where he currently resides. Huntsman Gay Global Capital, known as HGCC, has over $6.8 billion in cumulative capital commitments. The company has completed over 500 portfolio investments since its inception. John Madden, $200 million. Well, John Madden was only a player in the NFL briefly as a member of the Philadelphia Eagles practice squad. However, he did become one of the most successful NFL coaches in the game's history, so we just couldn't leave him out. He was the youngest head coach to reach 100 league victories and remains the most winningest coach in Raiders history. Additionally, he never even had a losing season at the helm and holds the highest winning percentage amongst coaches with at least 100 games. And while that's all fine and dandy, we all know why he's on this list. It's because of Madden. The The infamous video game series started in the late 80s and has grown to earn him well over $14 million annually, which has helped him amass well over $200 million in net worth during his lifetime. Sadly, John Madden passed away in December of 2021. In his honor, Madden 23 will feature him on the cover. Aaron Rodgers, $200 million. Arguably the most skilled quarterback of all time, has proved he is just as lethal as a negotiator. In 18 seasons with the Green Bay Packers, Aaron Rodgers has already amassed the second most career earnings in NFL history with a staggering $263 million. But what he's done with his money outside of football may be even more impressive. I mean, just listen to this. He owns a small stake in the Milwaukee Bucks. He has $135 million invested into a rowing machine company called Hydro, which is being led by entertainment mogul Kevin Hart. And that's only two from his well-diversified investment portfolio. Let's move back onto the field. Every Sunday, Aaron Rodgers goes against players wearing his product on their heads. You heard that correctly. Aaron Rodgers is heavily invested in Vicus 01, the high-tech helmets revolutionizing the game of football. If he continues this path, he could potentially become a billionaire. Tom Brady, $250 million. It's probably not that surprising that the most successful player of all time is also one of the richest. During his career that seems like it may never end, Brady has earned over $235 million from the New England Patriots alone. If you add in his earnings with Tampa Bay, he's easily over the 300 mark, and at 45, Tom Brady continues to rake in the cash. Arguably the second biggest sports star in the world behind LeBron James, making nearly $50 million annually from endorsements alone. Not to mention that he's also making significant waves in the business world, most recently with his TB12 brand. Brady has built a successful career by caring for his body regarding nutrition and exercise. His TB12 brand endorses all those things, with products ranging from supplements to clothing and other apparel. During the offseason, it was leaked that Tom Brady also signed an advanced TV deal which will activate when he retires. The deal will span over 10 years, totaling $375 million. It's the most lucrative deal in broadcasting history. The 45-year-old quarterback has also filed for 26 individual business patents under his name, covering many categories. These include a boutique retail store, candles, bed linen and towels, a food delivery service, and a meal planning service. He has not yet actioned anything off of those patents, but he'll have the scope to do so, only adding to his insane wealth. Peyton Manning, $250 million. It's funny how the two greatest quarterbacks in NFL history are worth the same amount of money. I guess that rivalry is going to the grave. Since winning 2 Super Bowls with the Colts and Broncos, Peyton Manning has founded Omaha Productions, which spearheaded the earlier mentioned Manning cast with his brother Eli. Omaha Productions has now branched out into podcasting and is proving to be a lucrative business for the Mannings. In addition to his own company, Peyton has worked with ESPN, Sony, Nike, Reebok, DirecTV, Buick, and Gatorade. He's also a significant shareholder in an upcoming NFT project with Fanatics that raised over $100 million. Roger Staubach, $600 million. The former Cowboy quarterback's initial salary in the NFL was only $25,000 a year. It only increased to about $160 by the end of his career. Good thing that Staubach was an intelligent man and knew that money earned from the NFL could vanish at any moment. So, in his spare time, he worked as a real estate broker for Henry S. Miller Co., the largest independent commercial real estate firm in Texas at the time. From the knowledge Roger gained working there, he founded the Staubach Company in 1977 and went out on his own, running the company for over 30 years before selling it in 2008 to a Chicago-based brokerage firm for $613 million. By that time, the Staubach Company had over 70 offices across the United States and more than 1,600 workers. He still owns 2 companies in Texas, including SRS Real Estate Partners, a company he founded in 1986 offering brokerage, corporate investment, and development real estate services. The second is Cypress Equities, which develops, operates, and manages retail, residential, and mixed-use properties. Staubach has partnered with the Dallas Cowboys on numerous ventures, including a $62 million luxury building near the team's brand new practice facility. The building was named 12 Cowboys Way after Roger Staubach's jersey number during his playing days. Among other ventures, the former quarterback was also the co-owner of a NASCAR team that raced for 3 seasons between 2006 and 2009. Jerry Richardson, $2 billion. The wealthiest man in NFL history was only a player for 2 seasons with the Baltimore Colts, where he played as a halfback. This was so long ago that when they won the championship in 1959, it wasn't even called the Super Bowl yet, but Richardson dominated. He used his championship bonus check and partnered with a friend to create the first Hardee's restaurant in Greenville, North Carolina. Jerry then co-founded Spartan Foods, which became the first franchisee of Hardee's. From there, he amassed so much wealth that he became the second former player to own an NFL franchise. In 1993, he founded the Carolina Panthers, which became the 29th organization. He was not heavily involved in the day-to-day operations of the Panthers, and he had no intentions for his family to inherit the Panthers after his passing. Instead, Richardson sold the franchise following the 2017 season to David Tepper amidst heavy controversy. The latter was a minority owner of the Pittsburgh Steelers at the time. The $2.2 billion sale was an NFL record at the time. Jerry Richardson is 86 years old and the wealthiest player the NFL has ever seen.